Democrats question Pete Hegseth's qualifications after learning he's never once worn a dress. Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Akorn. I hope all of you are having a great weekend, and I hope that you're ready for this week's episode of Laugh While the World Burns, where we show some of the highlights of the idiocracy that is modern-day society. If you enjoy this series, please watch this video all the way to the end, as it really helps to support the channel. And hit that like button, and if you haven't already, smash subscribe and click that bell. We have a lot of good memes and some idiocracy news this week, so let's get into it. Legal immigrants looking at illegal immigrants during an ICE raid.
You cannot conclude your wife is unfaithful just because you found out your child isn't yours.
Actress Mary whoever tells men, "I just have to wonder, is that what she tried to tell her husband?" Chicago area Democrat mired in scandal reportedly joins all-out brawl at public meeting, loses shoe and thrown to the floor. But just remember, that's just a peaceful protest. From the New York Slimes, how labeling cartels terrorist could hurt the U.S. economy. Isolating U.S. companies from cartel activities could be almost impossible, given that the criminal groups operate in sectors like agriculture and tourism, leaving some American businesses vulnerable to sanctions. Well, the billionaires already own big agriculture, and it's nothing new about how they've destroyed the U.S. food supply. And as far as tourism is concerned, a huge part of that has been all the illegals that they've been bringing in by plane, bus, and even by boats. Of course, there's also all of the illegal substances that the alphabet agencies have been pushing into the country using the cartels and other mules. Hey, remember when the Panama Papers came out and revealed that all the rich people in the world are part of an enormous criminal conspiracy to dodge taxes and hoard stolen wealth in offshore accounts and literally nothing happened? Yeah, and for the majority of them, nothing ever will happen to them. Nothing says trust the science like a preemptive pardon. Total burning ban. No campfires. Don't even fart out there. The surprising amount of bite marks on these IKEA display apples. And just think, every person that did this saw the bite marks where other people had done it, and yet they still tried it too. The people responsible for all illegal immigrant crime committed in the U.S. No, this is only a few of the puppets that's responsible. I have a mental illness that makes me think that people will change their minds if I present the correct arguments with the appropriate facts and data. No, it won't. There's plenty of people today, on just about any topic that you can choose, that no matter how much facts or proof that you show them, if it don't agree with what they already want it to be, they just ignore it, or act like it just doesn't exist. This girl told Theo Von that her boyfriend could make it to the show because he's not allowed in America. So he sent them this video.
Heard you got deported, dude. Bye.
The U.S. is at the forefront of humanitarian response to the growing crisis in Lebanon, announcing nearly $157 million in assistance today. We are committed to supporting those in need and delivering essential aid to displaced civilians, refugees, and the communities hosting them.
What part of North Carolina is that in? Point of view. It's called gross pay because it's disgusting to see what you could have made. This is 100% true. It is disgusting to see just how much that they steal from us.
We can't have a feminist future without abolishing the family.
Just because no one wants to start a family with you doesn't mean families are bad. California Governor Newsom knew the fires were going to happen because they refused to thin out the trees in Deadwood. Oh, but don't you remember? The fire breaks that they had previously always used was possibly disrupting the migration pattern of some specific mouse. And sadly, guys, I'm not joking. That's literally what they used when that first started. Then they came out and added a bunch of other stuff to it. What do these two have in common? Unemployment. I would trust a sibling telling me the electric fence is turned off before I trust anything in the news today. Fact check true. And I don't even have any siblings. How silly. A YouTube ad is trying to sell me stuff while I don't even have the money to buy YouTube Premium.
Who's got a hold of my son?
Liberal parents panic over losing their sons to MAGA. The appeal of a stable, life-affirming political camp that doesn't hate men maintains its appeal with young men. Some liberal parents have discovered that their sons aren't simply disinterested in their woke worldviews, but are actually leaning hard in the opposite direction, donning MAGA hats and turning their backs on land acknowledgments, climate alarmism, fake pronouns, DEI, depopulationist rhetoric, and attacks on masculinity. The New York Times ran a sob piece Sunday titled, "When Your Son Goes MAGA," detailing progressives' increasing difficulty speaking to young men and their lives who voted for President Donald Trump. What a surprise that these kids who were taught that they should hate themselves and that they are racist just because of their skin color, or that being a man means that you should be hated, spat on, and mocked, and that women who want to be a traditional, wholesome wife and raise a family are degraded, mocked, and ostracized by the so-called feminists. Who would have ever guessed that at least a good number of these same kids are now leaving all of this woke, agenda-driven ideology of hate because they've experienced it all firsthand?
And lastly, sir, we have an executive order demanding that grown men stop wearing skinny jeans.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
The new Walmart greeter. Welcome to Target. The face you make when it's been 12 years until the end of the world for the last 40 years. 4 years at the University of California, Berkeley, 2019, 2023.
I want to see you in prison.
I'll visit you as often as I can.
A man just called out, "You're looking pretty today," out of his car window. I had to explain his behavior is not acceptable.
I literally have no idea why a man would choose to say this to you. Where's all my money gone? It's like hocus pocus. I'm brocus.
There's no reason to own a cordless hole puncher. Think of the children.
You wanted to take my kids and put me in a camp for being. It's not a recession, it's an orchestrated collapse. It's not climate change, it's weather modification. It's mass unaliving. It's not foreign aid, it's money laundering. It's all by design. I've said before in past episodes that it is all orchestrated and that it is all being done by design. Over 10 years ago, everybody thought this guy was crazy. And although this is true, and a whole lot more, I'm not going to read that, because if I do, the video will probably, at the very least, get demonetized, or even straight up deleted, with possibly a strike against the channel. I know there are always a number of people who complain in the comments whenever I use what I call replacement words like cordless hole punchers, or unalive, illegal substances, lead dispenser, and other things. Yes, some things are being censored just because you say something. But more often than not, it's because the algorithm will pick up on those actual words that I'm replacing and will label the video as violent or substance abuse or a long list of other things. When that happens, the algorithm won't push the video. And because the video got that label, it automatically makes the video ineligible for many advertisers who don't want their ads shown on quote-unquote violent videos or whatever label it's got. So yes, I use replacement words, and I'm going to continue to use replacement words. And there is a lot of other channels that is doing the same things for the same reasons. And that trend is only going to continue to increase. So if you don't like that, then go complain to YouTube. Nowadays, a mimic would take the form of an Amazon delivery box sitting on the front porch of an abandoned house. It would get larger as it eats more people, attracting more people because it's a larger box. I am not reading this. What the hell is wrong with people these days? On both sides of this. The world's literally going to hell. Next. Most people don't know this, Steven, but the Supreme Court is just like a regular court, but it has sour cream and tomatoes. How it started. How it ended. Biden honors Kamala Harris with Presidential Medal of Participation. Imagine finding out the guy you took medical advice from got a preemptive presidential pardon.
Carrying a lunchbox to work is a feminine trait. There's absolutely nothing manly about that.
Me on my way to work, masculinely. Yeah, okay. I guess guys that work hard jobs for long hours just don't need to eat then, right? It's not like all the men that worked in the coal mines, construction, farmers, and everybody else could just stop everything they were doing just to run down to their local diner just to have a bite to eat. No, they took a lunchbox, and almost always it included a Stanley thermos, the original, real Stanley thermos. And I don't care what kind of a job you're working these days, if you go on lunch and you're running to whatever fast food restaurant to eat, it's going to cost you at least an hour or two of your pay, especially when you're talking about after taxes. My 14-year-old nephew wanted a tattoo, so we brought him. They denied him one because they said he wasn't old enough to make informed consent on something so permanent. So we took him to get a gender reassignment surgery instead. When they've been calling you racist for 8 years, just to be inaugurated on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I never thought about it at the time, but that actually is kind of funny. Frodo and Sam arrive to toss Ring into the fires of Los Angeles. I just heard my car making noise, so I turned my music up. Not this paycheck. Unfortunately, sometimes you just gotta try to wait another week or month or two. Quit giving handouts and they'll quit refusing to work. I love that when the stock market goes up, it means absolutely nothing for those of us who aren't rich. And when the stock market goes down, it means we lose our jobs. Polite reminder to all customers. please do not order food if you're not going to leave a minimum of a 25% tip. Most of the time, if you see any kind of sign like this, even if it's a lot lower percentage or whatever, usually the restaurant is the one that actually takes the tips, and then the servers get a percentage, or they break it down into some sort of pay schedule like that. Arrests are in order. Biden gave that guy an award for destroying America. Not the first nation he's destroyed.
A top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years.
This tweet has been deleted.
How dare you!
I did it, California. I saved the fish. If that is a fish, I think it's dead. Instagram. Real life. Usually, yes. I got Botox and I asked the doctor, how many years younger will this make me look? And he was like, 0. You'll just look like all the other girls your age who have also gotten Botox. The world is not being destroyed it's being destroyed by communist Democrats. It's being destroyed by the billionaire elites and their Agenda 2030. Man carries away fridge he bought for girlfriend after catching her cheating. You know, even though that's a smaller refrigerator, mine might be that big, that thing has still got some good weight to it. And more than that, it's very bulky and off balance because the compressor and stuff is in the back. Trump is hiring an unqualified cabinet, says the lunatics who gave America this show. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Don't think gender matters? Try buying a rooster for eggs and a bull for milk. I guarantee you, there is people that would try it. My mouth waters when I smell steak. I wonder if the same thing happens to vegans when they mow the lawn. If you were placed in Facebook jail due to fact checkers, you might be entitled to compensation. Yeah, right. Sure they will. I don't even know how many times that I was in Facebook jail. And then the last time, instead of just putting me in Facebook jail, where I could still talk to people on private messages, they just locked me out of my account back last year. I tried to use the account recovery about 5 or 6 different times, and it takes about a week for them to get back with you each time. And every time I'd get an email saying, your account's been verified and etc. and so forth, click this link to log in. When I would click the link, it would take me back to the same page and still would not let me back into my account. So basically, most of my friends on my Facebook page just think that I stopped posting. John Kerry's daughter says billions of humans must unalive for the NWO. Mr. Beast has rented out all 3 Egyptian pyramids for 100 hours for an upcoming video. Wait, you can just rent the pyramids? Yeah? Even with all the huge amount of restrictions and regulations there of what people's not allowed to do, apparently, if you just have enough money, you can just rent them out for the week. Some people need to forget about the fountain of youth and start looking for the fountain of common sense. Too bad that one don't exist. New $4 billion Panasonic electric vehicle battery factory in Kansas requires so much power that the facility will need its own coal plant to run. Yeah, that one factory uses as much power as a small city. Ensure offers domestic violence leave. Nice. Days off for domestic violence. Just to stay at home even more and be more exposed to the said violence. Perfect deal indeed. Stop blaming yourself for your failures. Learn astrology and blame the planets. I think some people actually believe that. Baltimore getting ready for its fire. Effective immediately. Driving slowly in the left lane, blocking people from passing, is now punishable by unaliving. I think that's a little bit extreme, don't you think? But don't be blocking the left lane. Live science. Scientists say sprinkling diamond dust into the sky could offset almost all of climate change. They spray everything else up there. Why not throw some diamonds in the mix and see what happens? That would certainly increase their budget. The front of a liquor store. At least they're being responsible and sending their wives instead of drinking and driving. Jimmy's famous seafood. Be sure to try our vegan options. Bio-binary trader.
Just so you guys know, feta cheese is not vegan. Might want to look into that.
Yeah, we really don't care. The only thing the establishment truly fears. If a woman offers to split the bill, she's independent and modern. If a man offers to split the bill, he's cheap and creepy. Can Aaron Rodgers take the Jets to the Super Bowl? Yes, but he'd have to buy a lot of tickets. Well, I guess that would be one way. Family is a terrible way to satisfy our desire for love and care, according to the writer and academic Sophia Lewis. The solution? Abolish it. That's what they've been doing ever since sometime in the 40s. It's just taken this long to get to the point we're at now. Uber drivers at their limit in... Many have to sleep in their car. Expensive accommodation and lower income are causing frustration among Uber drivers. Many have to work overtime or even sleep in the car, says one driver. Meanwhile, the attendees rent a room for $10,000 a week and come in private jets. At least they don't have to pay $1,000 a day for parking. It's a wonder, though. Dollar General waiting on Greenland to join the U.S. If you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside and warm them up. Your friends can forget your birthday, but Mark Zuckerberg doesn't. I found this rare Michael rookie card. Yeah, I bet that's pretty rare these days indeed. This might be a pretty simple cartoon, but it really is what many people do. Woman ticketed thousands of dollars because license match numbers on Star Trek ship Enterprise, NCC 1701. Long story short, This woman at one point had a car and was issued a license plate literally with this number. However, there are many people across the country that use fake license plates with this same number. So when speed cameras would pick up violations that these people were doing, she would get mailed the tickets. And apparently, this happened to a number of other people too. She didn't even have the car anymore though. Well, this isn't entirely wrong. Musk does make brain chips. Bro tried to get one last sniff for the road. And I'll end the episode with this. Can we give a shout out to the state of Tennessee requiring a DNA test being conducted before a man is put on child support? I want to thank all of you who watched this video to the end, as it really helps to support the channel. If you like this series and want to see more, then share these videos with your family, friends, and social media. Please consider hitting that like button, and if you haven't already, smash subscribe and click that bell so you'll never miss another episode. Don't forget to check out our second channel for new videos that drop every Tuesday and Saturday. But I'll see you guys back here on the main channel on Friday's show. I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe this week. This is Akorn, over and out.